I'm just saying a lot of the Harry Potter names be good names if I wanted to call an English person a slur. Like, just imagine a family of British immigrants moving into the neighborhood, and I'd stand out the, I don't know, the butter store, throw a brick through the window, like, hey, Neville Longbottom! Go back to where you came from. Go back to the moors. Guys, no good deed goes unpunished. Because you know the name of the guy who invented the toilet? John Crapper. So because of that, we started calling toilets crappers. And thus the contents that we emit into a toilet, crappy. And that is a very terrible way to thank the guy who invented the most important invention ever. There's no more important invention in toilets. Just come at me. Like, be like, what about the wheel? Boats are better. What about boats? They carry rats. What about fire? We didn't invent fire. Fire's like already a thing. We just caught it and make smaller versions of it. Like corgis. No, fire is like, toilets are the most important invention ever, because everybody take a big sniff of that air. We're in a big city, we're in a basement, you know what that is? Not shit everywhere. That's the thing, like, in the old days, like, the cities were so filled with shit that people lived out in the country to get away from everything. That's where all the rich people live. Now, all the rich people live in the cities, and the country is where all the incest cannibals live. You know how important toilets are? Like, you ever go to a Renaissance fair? I mean, you seem like the kind of guy who, you know, yearns for the elegant romance of balut. You go to a Renaissance fair, they still have regular toilets. They're like, we're going to dress like the Middle Ages. We're going to talk like the Middle Ages. We are not going to go to the bathroom like the Middle Ages. You know what I find weird? Vampire pornography. Because vampire fiction was invented as a metaphor for sexual acts during the prudish Victorian times. And then, like, you know, like they were supposed to represent fluid transfers. And then, you know, we stopped caring what the kids think and started just having them, you know, dropping bones in the vampire movies. And then someone's like, well, should we, like, drop the vampires? Like, no, let's keep the subtext and the text at the same time. Like, we'll keep the fluids that represent the other fluids, but we'll keep the original fluids. We'll have all the fluids. Condiment table full of fluids. Like the soda computer at the movie theater. Guys, is it fun? Movie theaters are going to outlast Best Buy. That's a dark horse victory. Like, they're dying, but they're at least going to be able to watch the person who shot them take their last breath. Because this is what happened with Best Buy. So they're like, everyone's like, you know what? We have the big screen TVs. We have the sound theaters. We have, like, stereos. You don't need to go to a theater. You can put a theater in our own homes. But now, nobody can afford homes. Real socioeconomic gift of the Magi there. Like, this was going to be my home theater, but it's actually like now my kid's divorce room. It's their co-parenting parlor. You know, it's funny, and so I kind of take. I still go to the movie theaters. I mean, I take COVID seriously, or at least I take COVID as seriously as somebody who wants to die 90% of the time. Like, people say COVID is too politicized, and sometimes it's hard to disagree when I'm sitting with my friends who are pretty progressive and very clinically depressed, being like, this was my third suicide attempt this month. Hey, you, put on a mask. No, I've had thoughts like that. I think what has saved my life is that I'm a very finicky eater. Like, I'm the person you just can't take out to eat. Like, oh, that's too far, or oh, that costs too much, or it's gross. I'm like, why can't there be a way where I have too much delicious pie, and that's how it does it? No, what keeps me going, because whenever someone gets talked down from suicide, like, think about the people who love you. And no, my advice, think about the people who hate you. and how much you're inconveniencing them by sticking around. Taking resources that could have been their resources. Oxygen that could have been their oxygen. Let's say, here, have some carbon dioxide. You should have been nicer to me. Thanks so much, guys. Give it back to Jeremy.
Guys, keep it going for R.A. Bartlett. Tonight when before I go to bed and I'm doing my journal.